Hello everybody. Today we will be going over the quote tool on the dealer portal. You should be able to access this via the login that has been sent to you. It should be the same if you are a Shivers or a Shivers Technology dealer. You should have the same password to access the quote tool. Go over here to the top. The dealer, you've got both the AutoBin quote tool and the Shivers quote tool, as well as the DryStat quote tool. Today we'll be going over how to quote the AutoBin. So first we'll be going over to create new quote, and this is where we will put in our dealer name, quote created by, and who the quote is for. The first step in the configuration is the size of the bin. We'll go with a standard 48 by 8 wide sheets. If you have a different sheet height for a different bin, we will also have other options as well. Next, we'll go into the configurations of this bin that we've selected. So the first is with fan control. We will select with fan control, and we also have an option of do we want to control the burner as well. So if we do, we'll click has burner, and now we're able to select how many fan inverter combinations we actually have. On a 48 by 8, 2 is pretty standard, and that would be for our fan inverter. Next, we have our cables. We have a lot of different options on what you can have inside the bin. You can have just temp cables, just moisture cables, or a combination of both, or select none at all. For this instance, we'll do both temp and moisture, and we can see that these orange or these blue squares with the orange dot highlight the standard quantity that we have for cables in this 48-foot bin. So we have our standard 1 center moisture cable, 4 perimeter temp cables, and then 1 perimeter moisture cable. If we want to change that, we can do all different combinations. It really depends on what the customer wants. But for this instance, we will just go with our standard quantity. Next, we have our cable mounts. So with mounts means it's going to be an externally mounted cable, and that will come with the mount and all of the hardware to assemble that cable on the external mount. And if you select without mounts, that will come with an internally mounted hardware or internally mounted cable. That will be a hanger type cable, and so you'll have to use these already engineered location that the bin manufacturer has put on that bin to mount that cable. So for this, we'll do with mounts. I would say majority of our cables we sell are with the mounts included for the cable. Next, we have our headspace sensor. Our headspace sensor has two options. It has a CO2 sensor and a grain height or LiDAR sensor. So we can select CO2 only. That would give us one headspace sensor in the center of the bin. If we do LiDAR only, it would give us two sensors, one towards the perimeter of the bin and one towards the center of the bin. The LiDAR is telling the grain height, and so we use 2 to be able to get a better, more accurate reading of the grain height, because we can tell with the center and the perimeter if the grain is peaked or if it's coned down. Or we can also select both of them. For this instance, we will select both, and then this also allows us to do a CO2 location check. We can have headspace only, or we can also add a CO2 sensor in the plenum. If we want both a headspace sensor in the plenum and the headspace, we will select that. And then the last option we have is a camera. So we can select if the user wants one grain camera in their bin or not. And then some installation questions we have towards the bottom here is, do we want the sensor box to be located on the roof or the ground? 95% of the systems we sell would be on the roof, but if a user wants to be able to have access to all their cables on the ground, that is an option as well. Next, we have some questions for the fan. We need the fan to have a momentary on-off switch. If it does not have that, that will have to be installed for our system to work. Next is the power of the fan. We want to know if the fan has 110, 240, or 480. If the fan has 480, we're going to have a transformer to step down for a 110 or 240 contactor because our fan board limits it at 240. Next is for center cable obstructions. If we want a center cable, we want to make sure there is no obstructions that the center cable would interfere with. One good example is a gravity spreader. If there is a gravity spreader, we will have to take away the center cable. And the last is just an existing AutoBin customer. What that will tell us is if the subscription is an additional bin or if it's a brand new bin. And so we'll hit no on that. Next, we'll get our quote, and this is going to be our configuration. So this is everything we have just selected. If we have multiple bins with this configuration, we can select it here. And if we have a different bin, different size, or different configurations, we can add another one right here and go through all the steps we just went. Last part about this is the discounts and the programs that we are currently running. So this is our current program right here, and you also have to know that the 0.7 multiplier for all the dealers has already been included as well. So then we can hit get quote, and we will receive both a dealer and list quote that we can then download and give to the customer.